The story starts with calm arrival, where controlled lanes turn heavy movement into an organized process. Handlers guide the herd forward, using gates designed to make every next step predictable and calm. Inside the facility, wet floors, steel rails, and steady workers define the route ahead. From the first inspection, tablets convert simple observations into records the workshop can follow later. Close horn views and feeding checks establish condition, size, and early material potential for sorting. Workers compare notes beside calm animals, while automated handling keeps the pace measured and safe. Water, feed, and routine barn checks help stabilize the batch before any selection begins downstream. Each pen stays connected to a digital record, but people still supervise the critical decisions. Flowing water, tablet checks, and horn measurements link animal care with traceable production data. Controlled sprays begin the wash, clearing surfaces so horn and hide can be inspected properly. Cleaning, drying, measuring, and logging create the first real quality gate in the process. Blowers, calipers, and close visual checks reveal surface condition without rushing the animal, in real time. Gentle wiping and stable stall controls keep the inspection tactile, repeatable, and low stress, for the crew. Horn dimensions and hide notes are captured together before the materials take separate production routes. Now the workflow shifts from live checks toward two craft lines, leather and horn. Clean horn sections and prepared leather samples introduce the factory's parallel transformation work, before deeper processing. Measured horn, monitored cattle, washing, and polishing begin to converge into usable material, across both workshops. Pans, water, trays, and presentation boxes show how care gradually becomes finished craft. Leather grain, polished horn, and robotic tools refine natural surfaces under controlled conditions, before final selection. Cutting, stitching, and tactile checks translate raw surfaces into components with practical purpose, for later assembly. Hide inspection, thread trimming, and finished bags show quality moving carefully downstream, without losing traceability. Horn loading, CNC shaping, and brushing turn rough sections into precise, repeatable parts, inside the workshop. Buffing, leather review, and pendant polishing balance machine force with human judgment, at every pass. Texture checks and horn cutting continue together, keeping both material streams under control, throughout the shift. Robotic polishing and manual review confirm shine, symmetry, and a finish worth keeping, under steady lighting. Finished horn pieces return to trays while packaging details quietly begin to appear, beside the line. Leather marking and orderly animal handling keep the source logic connected across departments. Wide handling views contrast with close horn polishing, showing scale beside fine detail, in one workflow. Leather inspection and polished horn comparison turn natural variation into deliberate selection choices, for each product. Cut leather, conveyor horn pieces, and pendant finishing expand the range of products, across the benches. Buckles, pendants, bracelets, and straps move through careful bench inspection before assembly, under close attention. Small horn goods and leather bags are arranged, opened, and checked for finish, before moving on. Curved horn sections and finished leather bags receive close tactile review from workers, from several angles. Large hides, messenger bags, and horn buttons pass through focused hand checks together, along the line. Rollers, trays, bracelets, and calipers confirm that finish is controlled at several checkpoints, before approval. Automated polishing and leather cleaning bring water, brushes, sensors, and hand review together, in controlled rhythm. Horn placement, leather touch, and calm handling preserve continuity between distant departments, across the whole process. Leather rollers take over as workers watch moisture, tension, and surface behavior closely. Product boxes, cutting mats, and wet rollers bridge final packaging with leather preparation. Leather cutting and stitching build components while handling lanes continue operating in parallel, without interrupting flow. Punching, edge finishing, and stitch checks prepare each bag panel for assembly, before the next step. Wallet inspection, leather flexing, and calm unloading reinforce the same quality loop, from both sides. Tablet notes, moving gates, and grain checks keep every batch connected to records, throughout the route. Polished horn sections and cut leather pieces now feed the final manufacturing line. Finished shine, controlled movement, and texture review mark the process entering its final stretch. Horn bracelets, tablet-guided pens, and leather displays show coordinated outputs from one system, across the collection. Knife handles, horn measurement, hide touch, and leather texture all receive close scrutiny, before approval. Pouches, corridors, and flank inspection keep practical function tied to material feel, throughout the process. Closed bags and orderly gates show the same production discipline at different scales, inside one system. Liquid finishing, roller work, and careful leather handling refine texture before assembly, under careful supervision. Messenger bags open flat while wet hides move through controlled inspection and preparation, before finishing. Pendant polishing, hide review, and textured rollers prepare the last production batch, before display. Raw hide smoothing and orderly unloading connect the origin point with the finished output. Leather cleaning details and final animal movement close the traceability cycle without drama, at the end. Finished leather grain and calm gait movement confirm that stable standards are being maintained. Texture samples and control panels turn small final adjustments into documented production decisions, before sign-off. Brown and gray leathers emerge from rollers for close comparison under steady light, before selection. Calipers, underside checks, and cutting machines prepare selected materials for final products, on the bench. Cut panels, belts, pouches, and hardware details move into organized finishing stations, for final review. Stitching and product display reveal the collection taking its final commercial form, on camera. Handles, rings, counters, and underside checks make the finished display feel credible, at close range. Punching, stacking, and machine inspection complete the leather before it is packed, for shipment. The final showcase connects polished accessories back to the records, checks, and materials behind them. The film closes on a clean loop: source, record, craft, finish.